Hello creators, thank you for joining me and welcome to the art part with Miss Colleen. Today we're going to be exploring a little bit more the art element known as shape. Now we know that in art, shape is divided into two distinct categories. Shapes can be either geometric shapes or organic shapes. Today we're going to be using our knowledge of those two different categories to create our very own self-portrait. The materials we're going to need today are 1 to 2 sheets of paper and a pencil, and if you'd like, some colors. If you want to use just one sheet of paper, you can do the warm-up on the back and save the front for your piece of art, or you can use a piece of scrap paper to do the warm-up. It is entirely up to you. Let's get started with our warm-up today. We are going to brainstorm some different shapes that we might like to use in our artwork. The way that this artwork is going to go today, we're going to divide the paper in half, don't do it yet, and one side will be for our geometric shapes and the other side will be for our organic shapes so that we can really get a clear view of a contrast between the two types of shapes and have some fun creating different ways of representing ourselves in our portrait. So for right now, why don't you brainstorm a few different ideas that you would like to use in your self-portrait. You can brainstorm some organic shapes, some geometric shapes, and just see what you might be interested in today. I think I might do an isosceles triangle, maybe a right triangle. It's okay if you don't use all of these ideas. This is just to get your creative brain flowing and coming up with some interesting shapes that you might like to use. Maybe a circle, rectangle, maybe a star of some kind. You can use some of the shapes I'm using, or you can come up with some that are completely your own. Just let your imagination wander for just a few minutes. You don't have to imagine where you might use these in your drawing yet. Just let yourself create without worrying about anything that's going to come later. Take a couple of minutes and see what comes out. Another option for this is you could look around the room that you're in, see if you see some interesting shapes that you might like to include. Or if there are some shapes in nature that you'd like to include in your self-portrait, that's an idea. Could be anything at all, but make sure you get a mix of some organic shapes and some geometric shapes. So after you've taken some time to do a little bit of brainstorming for this warm-up, we're going to turn our sheet over or get a new sheet, depending on what you'd like to do. And let's start our self-portrait. If you're still working on your shapes, that's all right. Just come to a place where you're ready to get started. Now, I am going to draw a line right down the middle of my paper. You can do yours landscape the way that I am, or you can do it portrait, either way. It is a portrait, so if you'd like the portrait orientation, that might work for you. I think I might do mine landscape today. Those are just the names that we call the orientations of these papers. It doesn't mean that you have to draw a landscape or you have to draw a portrait. I'm gonna do my middle line, draw a line right down, just like that. And you can choose whichever side you like for the different types of shapes. I think I'll do geometric shapes on this side and organic shapes on this side. Now, we did a little bit of mixing up those shapes in a previous exploration of shape. And if you'd like to do that for your artwork, you may, but I think this is an opportunity for you to just try to do one or the other and see what the difference will look like when you're done. So I think I'm going to start by doing the outline of my face. I'm going to do just a face self-portrait today, just the head, and then maybe sometime in the future I'll try a whole full body self-portrait. But for today, I'm just going to do the face. I think on my geometric side, I will start by drawing half of an oval. Now, if you choose a different shape for your face, you can go ahead and do that. It is entirely up to you, but choose a geometric shape, maybe a rectangle or a triangle or anything that you'd like, and go ahead and make the shape of your face. And remember, we're just doing our geometric face shape right now. There we go. And now on the other side of the paper, I am going to use an organic shape to make the other half of my face shape. Let's do, maybe it comes out like this, goes down a little bit, maybe it comes out for my cheek, starts to come back in to my chin. So you can already start to see that we have a bit of contrast between our geometric and our organic sides of our portraits. I think I will start by making, I'm going to choose a geometric shape for my eye over here. It could be any shape that you feel interested in. I think maybe I will make my eye a triangle. I'm going to do a nice big triangle eye. You might want your eye to be a rhombus or an oval, a rectangle. It is up to you. Here's my triangle eye. And I think I'm going to stick with geometric shapes. If you want to move over to your other eye, you can go ahead and do that. But I think I'd like to put maybe a circle in the middle of my triangle eye. There we go. And there we have my iris. I think maybe I'll hop over here, do the organic shape of my other eye. Now, a lot of the shapes that we think of when we draw self-portraits are pretty geometric shapes. So for some of these more geometric face shapes, it can be kind of a fun creative challenge to think of what is a new organic shape that I can come up with. Remember, an organic shape is a shape that is the artist's imagined creation or something that they've seen in nature. Whatever it is not a regular shape. So if I have the opportunity to create a brand new shape, that is something that might be kind of exciting. So maybe for this eye, I am going to do a little bit round, a little bit pointy, maybe round like that, and maybe pointy again. Something like that. A little bit of an eye shape, but also a little bit different. And remember, we're not making one side geometric and one side realistic, or realistic and strange. We're just doing one side geometric and one side organic. So there might be some realism on both sides. There might be some imagination on both sides. We will see when it all finishes up. So now I have my eye here. I'm going to put an organic shape in the middle of my eye. And maybe it goes something like that. That's one idea. Next, I'm going to go to my nose. And I think for my nose, my organic nose shape that I'm going to do, I'm going to make a rectangle nose on my geometric side. Just like that, a long little rectangle right up against that center line. You could choose whatever kind of shape whatever kind of size you want for your nose. And I think I will do maybe another rectangle for the bulb of my nose. You know what? I'm going to make another even smaller rectangle right here for my nostril. You know what? I'm going to make another even smaller rectangle for the inside of my nostril. That's my nose. That's pretty fun. I like that. And then let's see what kind of nose I want to have on the organic side. If it helps you to remember to write geometric and organic at the top, you can totally do that. I think on this side, now I don't want to do just lines, I don't think. I think I want all of the shapes on my portrait to be shapes, not just lines. So a lot of times when I'm drawing a self-portrait that's not in this style, I'll do just a line for the side of my nose. But I think this time I want to do all enclosed lines. So maybe for my enclosed nose shape, I'm going to have it come down here and go like this. And then enclose that shape up along the center line. That is an organic shape. I think I'll come down here for my mouth, and maybe I'll try to do the organic side first on my mouth. Just switch it up a little bit. It is entirely up to you what order you want to do your face in. For my mouth, you know what? I can be a very loud person. So I think sometimes I have a very loud voice. I'm not going to do it on the video because it would hurt your ears, probably. But I think for my mouth shape, I want to represent that. Since I have this opportunity to create a fun mouth shape, I think maybe I will do a big, wavy mouth. Because I can be a very loud person. That is my big, loud mouth. I can be a very quiet person too, but maybe on this side, I'm going to do my big, loud mouth. That is a fun organic shape. Now I'm going to come over to the other side of my artwork. And what kind of organic shape do I want to do for my mouth today? I mean, a geometric shape, sorry. What kind of geometric shape do I want to use for my mouth? How about maybe another triangle. You know what? The lines don't even need to match up. I'm going to make my triangle come up here, go out this way, and then come back to the middle. Yours doesn't have to be right along the center line like mine is. It's just an idea that I had. You can use if you like, but if you have another idea, that is absolutely okay as well. So we've got a little bit of a face going with the geometric and the organic sides of our self-portraits. I think next I would like to add some eyebrows. So I'm gonna start on my geometric side, and I think maybe for my eyebrow, I'm gonna do maybe a half of an oval. Half of an oval like this, and like that. Here we go, sort of tilted at an angle. And for my organic eyebrow, I think it's gonna have a point on this side, and then it's gonna go like this. This is my organic eyebrow. Some nice jagged edges. I did that one at sort of an angle too to compare to the other one on the other side, but then contrast since they're such very different shapes. That's something that you can do too, is do some shapes in a similar way, but with sort of a different approach. I think next I want to add some ears to my drawing. I think I'll start on the organic side, and for my ear on this side, maybe I'll do, I'm doing a lot of curves, so maybe I'll try some straight lines, because organic doesn't just mean curvy lines, it can also be straight lines as long as they are not a specific geometric shape. So I think do some straight ear lines over here. Something like that. And maybe I'll do a smaller shape on the inside to represent my ear. And maybe an even smaller shape. Yeah, I like that. Now I'm going to come over to the other side, do another geometric shape, or maybe a couple of geometric shapes. I think I'd like to do maybe some circles and ovals on this side for my ear. I think I'll start with a big circle over here. You don't have to do the same thing as me if there's another geometric shape that you'd like to use for your ear. Or maybe your ears aren't even visible in your drawing. Maybe they're covered up by hair or a hat or something else like that. That is totally up to you. You use your imagination for your self-portrait. The only thing that we are practicing is the contrast between geometric and organic shapes. I think next, I know a lot of the time I wear glasses. So maybe I want to add my glasses onto my self-portrait. This is where, once you kind of have you can do this in any order that you like, but I find it's easier to start with my basic facial features, eyes, nose, mouth, etc. And then I can add some of the more personal, specific details like glasses or hair. So I think for my glasses on this side, my organic shape is maybe it's sort of, I'll do it across the eye a little bit. Or maybe I'll do it, where do I want it? Something right about here, across the eye. As if they're a little bit lower on my nose. And then maybe, don't want to make it a geometric shape. I want to make it an organic shape. So maybe a bit of a curve and then a straight little thing there and a curve back up. It's almost a geometric shape, but it does have a little bit more going on. So now I want to do my geometric shape on this side. Maybe I will do just a nice oval. Something like that. And I want to connect the two lenses of my glasses, but I said earlier I don't want to do some lines. I think I want to stick with shapes. So maybe on this half, on the geometric half, I'll make it a little rectangle. And on this side, a little bit of a wavy line shape. Maybe I'll continue that on this side. And a rectangle on this side to go over my ears. So you go ahead, add some personal touches to your drawing. And I think now I'd like to start on my hair. So this is an example of a really exciting creative challenge because I don't know how I'm going to represent my hair with just geometric shapes, but it sounds pretty fun. So maybe I'll start with some organic shapes so I can draw what I think of as my hair. So I'll start up here, and my hair is a little bit straight and a little bit wavy, so maybe it comes down like this. And remember, I'm trying not to do just lines. I'm gonna do some hair shapes. My hair's a little bit wavier when it comes down to the bottom. And then I think I'll give a little bit of a wave there. And then maybe this shape comes down a little bit over the face and goes behind the ear, and then that shape continues. We'll say it comes back around the ear. This is a little, you know what? I'm gonna close off. Well, this is where I have to decide how I want to do this, and you can decide on your artwork as well. I think I'm gonna make this shape start back behind the ear, come down and get that wave, and then I will close it off like this. So if you look at the way that this shape is actually shaped, the line of this shape, we have the outer line in here, and then this inner line comes down and goes around the ear. That is part of the shape, and then comes back down here. And if you want to look at it even a different way, this line on the outside of the head creates two shapes here. So there, I mean, once you get started with overlapping shapes, just like we did with the eye, we did with the nose, there are all sorts of smaller shapes that you can create in your drawing with the overlapping lines of these shapes. I'm going to come over here to my geometric side, and I'm going to start trying to represent my hair with just geometric shapes. This is pretty exciting. I think the part for my hair is going to go right about here. I usually part it on the side. And I think I'll start with a rectangle. I think I'll do a few different rectangles. I'm going to continue my center line up since I went a little bit higher. Do a rectangle right here. And maybe I'll add some more of this organic shape to the top. You don't have to do that, just something that I thought of. And maybe another little organic shape over there. And then maybe another overlapping rectangle. Maybe a few different rectangles. Maybe one there. And then I do have bangs on the front of my head, so I think on my organic side, gonna do some wavy lines for the bangs, wavy shapes I should say, because I'm gonna close it off like that. Wavy shapes. Something like that. And maybe for this side, I'm gonna do some geometric shapes. I could stick with some rectangles. I think I'll do some ovals on this side. That sounds interesting. Whatever hair you have, you can use whatever shapes you like to represent that in your drawing, in whatever way that you want to do it today. So I have the part on my hair, and I think I'm gonna do a few more rectangles on this side. Oops, here we go. And make that one overlap. And maybe down here, I'm gonna switch, since my hair starts to get wavier on this side, maybe I'll switch to some long ovals. Long ovals over here. And since it gets wavier and wavier, maybe the ovals will get shorter. And then maybe there's some almost circles over here since it's getting wavier. Those are just some of my ideas. And let's see. Is there anything else I want to include in my self-portrait? You know, I think that might be it. Maybe you want to give yourself a hat, or maybe you have freckles. You could represent with a few little shapes on your face. Maybe you have different things on your face. It's up to you, or in your hair, or anything that you'd like to do. But there you have it, your geometric and organic self-portrait. And if you'd like, you can add color to your artwork, you can add different shading with your pencil, whatever you would like to do. And you can start to see a pretty clear contrast between what we have on our geometric side and what we have on our organic side. You can start to see some similarities, some differences. And I hope this helped you have some creative opportunities to explore these two different types of shapes and how you can use them for some creative challenges. And as always, I have been Miss Colleen. I hope that you keep creating and keep sharing. See you next time.